What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Health is Wealth podcast. Today's episode is the future book, Living in the Zone by Heather Lee.
Yes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Health is Wealth podcast. I'm your host, Jason Shibley, and today's episode is all about a future book called Living in the Zone by Heather Lee, and our guest today is Heather Lee.
Hey.
What's up, Heather?
Everything fabulous.
Everything fabulous is up. That's what we like to hear. I like that one. That's good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, I am excited to have you here. There's a lot to brag about you, and excited to talk about your future book that you're working on, and hopefully we can impact everyone that's listening to this as much as you've impacted me to get me to this point to actually be doing a podcast. You get a lot of credit for that.
I think you did all the heavy lifting.
All the heavy lifting.
Yes.
Yes, you were behind the camera. See, I'll do the little backstory how we know each other.
Yeah. Okay.
From a corporate gym that we used to work at. You were a spin instructor, and then I was a trainer. And over the past year and a half or so, we worked on social media for the gym together, and that's always been a difficult issue for me, of being in front of the camera and sharing. And you actually took some of my HIT training classes.
Yes.
And gave me a lot of credit on, I had a message to give people and I needed to be on social media to do it. And you didn't even know I had all this stuff sitting in my house the whole time.
I didn't, and I'm completely amazed.
So you get a lot of credit for getting my social media going for Fitness Prosperity, the Instagram and Facebook videos that are my initial ones. And Bobby Jackson, the co-host of the show, he gets a lot of credit for getting this podcast organized. So
that's awesome.
yeah, rock on, girl.
Rock on. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, no. And the only thing I hate about you is you're from Michigan and I'm a Buckeye boy. That's the only thing I hate.
Whatever. We're both from the Midwest.
Yeah, that's right. That's where it is. But you were a spin instructor.
Yes.
So
one of my passions.
let's talk about your background.
Okay.
And like I just said, you're from Michigan, so.
Yes. Yeah. So originally from Lansing, Michigan, and I went off, studied college at Spelman, all girls college in Atlanta, and then traveled and landed eventually in Florida, which I absolutely love. And as you mentioned, we met because I was teaching spin, and then took over some social media activities. And spin actually, I love, of course, your brand, Health is Wealth, because spinning helped me, stay focused in terms of in the gym. I need to get, back in there and focus. But the background in terms of spinning and teaching, a really interesting story, because I think it's in line definitely with the book itself in terms of living in the zone, because living in the zone is really all about operating in your highest frequency, your zone, the thing that you can do forever, and you never really get tired because you're just in that place of passion and purpose. And
we talk about that in fitness all the time. Get in your zone, and the hardest part for people starting out in their fitness goals is to find that zone. So it takes, I always give people the first 6 weeks to 6 months to really find a zone where you can actually really find traction with becoming a lifestyle.
So true.
Yeah.
Yes, so true. Yeah. And I feel like people, in perfect example, fitness and running, right? I ran my first half marathon probably about 3 years ago.
That was your brother, right? With your brother.
He is like my brother, my cousin. I call him cousin brother or brother cousin, because definitely he's my partner in crime. And but a little backstory, because it does speak to fitness and running, is that when you start out, you're tired and you're like, can I do this? Can I do this? And then you go from, when you stick to it, eventually you hit your stride and you run and you get into that zone and you feel like you can run forever.
Yeah.
And people often stop before they get to that zone.
Oh man, that's a good analogy for almost anything.
So true.
Yeah. And I'm a trainer and I hate running. So, and over the years, but you're absolutely right. A lot of people, they don't understand that there's a rhythm, and it might take a minute to 30 minutes to actually find a rhythm for that running, whether it's ache and pains or mentally trying to find a rhythm to get you constantly going for that distance running.
Right, so true. And that's one of the reasons why, on social media, one of my primary hashtags is just keep going.
Yeah.
Because when I'm running a half marathon, I'm like, just take the next step, just take the next step. And actually, it's perfect timing when I think about Martin Luther King holiday coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, on Monday. And that's one of his quotes. If you can't, crawl, walk. If you can't walk, run, or, but no matter what, just keep going, because eventually, you'll make a big impact, whether it be on yourself and others through inspiring them. And that's one thing, I strive to do when I'm running a half marathon is I give high fives, and I'll say, just keep going. And actually one of my races, I did a hashtag on my leg and it just said, just keep going. And some of my friends think I'm nuts, but I'm like, come on, just keep it. And it can be a great.
I'm a friend and I think you're nuts.
I am. But that's part of it.
Hey, if you're not crazy, then you're not part of our inner circle.
Or clique. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So good stuff. But I know I kind of got off track in terms of spinning, because I know you'd asked me about that earlier.
Yeah. I think it's an awesome story how you became a spin instructor and how it falls forward into this book that you're writing right now.
Absolutely. So spinning for me is definitely part of one of my passions. I am definitely operating in the zone, meaning that when I'm drafting a playlist, I can spend hours making sure it's the right song and the right flow, because I love it so much. It means so much to me that when I'm crafting something, it's a gift to the people that are taking my class.
Yeah.
But a little, backstory, as what you're alluding to, is that, what I shared with you is that when I initially took my very first spin class, I believe it was in Silver Spring, Maryland, and I walked in and I was like, oh, this seems something different, group fitness class, fabulous. And I was in there about 20, 30 minutes, and I said, oh no, I can't do this. And I just plopped out, got off that bike and walked out of the room and
walked
then
out.
Yep.
Listen, people, anyone that's my existing clients right now,
Better not do that.
You're not the only one that's quit a workout. Okay. And now she's an instructor.
Absolutely. And I share this in class oftentimes. I'm like, keep going, just come on, hang in there, because, initially I walked out, but anyway, so I walked out, then I came back again, and I might have walked out of the second class as well.
No kidding.
It's a really good chance. And then, but I kept on going back, and then eventually I got, inspired. The spin is really about inspiring people. It's, to me, mental and physical, and that's what fitness is to me in general. It's the endurance. It really helps you. I think your mind is a muscle, and then you have physical muscles. So both things, really are powerful. So anyways, I kept on going back, and then eventually I started visualizing myself teaching the class, because I was so inspired, and I love, being inspired and inspiring other people. And then one day, the instructor didn't show up, and I had.
Damn it!
I know
those instructors. I hate that part of this. We've done an episode about people and the instructors that just don't show up.
I know, nuts.
Thank goodness for members like you that
hey, I was like, hey,
pay for your membership. Let me teach the class.
Seriously, that's what I did. I was like, hey, because I think there's a quote like, "Don't get ready, be ready," or whatever. And so I was ready for my opportunity. And so I went around the class. I said, hey, you guys want me to, teach? I have a playlist. And they said, okay. I think I bombed it, compared to, how I teach now. But I got up there and tried, and the instructor walked in the room and he observed me for a while, and it was great. But that was the start of me teaching. And
because someone else that was getting paid for the service didn't show up.
Exactly.
Jeez.
But I took advantage.
And I hate spin, but I've always enjoyed your classes, and it's a lot of it for me. It's the music. You find a mixture of music that hits everyone. I think that's important.
Yes, I love different genres, even like violin.
Put that in the spin class. Seriously. Let me see if I can there.
Yeah, I have. No, seriously, like Josh Vetti, he's got some powerful. He's actually got a New York remix, and it's a powerful song to play in spin class. So,
okay.
All right, I'm
trusting you on that one.
I mix it up.
Okay, so you got inspired by your own zone of your own fitness and spin and became an instructor. Now, how much of that leads into you starting to write this book?
It leads in a lot
Yeah.
because the funny thing is, prior to teaching a spin class, because I got my parents to take my spin class, and they were in their 60s at the time. Now they're in their mid 70s. But my parents said, Heather, prior to before you start a class, your eyes glaze over. And oftentimes I wear this military hat too, and they're like, you just get in your zone, and you're just really intense and engaging. And so I really thought about that and said, wow, well, we should be able to be in that space of optimum energy and passion all the time. Why can't we live in this space? Why can't we craft a life where we're operating and we're excited and we got passion and it's never ending?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to wake up on a day in and day out basis when you love what you're waking up to.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
And part of that, to my parents, work out and are very passionate about that. And I really have to say my first observation of somebody in their zone is my father. I'm a lot like him. He's a very intense person, passionate, friendly, but definitely intense. And so in his 60s, he would, even when he would come to visit, he would run an hour forward on the treadmill and an hour backwards. Okay. Cause I can barely do 5 minutes backwards.
Yep. As a trainer, I understand the concept and I think it's awesome, but man, that's a long time to go backwards on a treadmill. And to stay in a zone, since everything's about the zone and living in the zone, you have to be in a special zone. I don't care if you're going 1 mile an hour. To stay in a zone backwards,
seriously,
go backwards for 100 yards and walk it backwards on 100 yards on a football field. Your quadriceps are burning. So
yes,
animal.
Yeah.
Your dad's an animal.
He really is. And actually, it's a funny story. I was teaching at this gym in DC. I was teaching spin, and it was a very upscale, boutique gym. And my dad was running backwards, and he was doing things like these like karate moves. And I'm like, Dad, can you please keep it together and tone it down? I'm in this like very upscale gym. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry, Heather. But now I realize that for him, it was like he was exercising his mind and his body.
Yeah, he was in the zone.
He was.
You got him out of the zone.
I really did.
It's really that simple. You just interrupt your dad's zone, and now he had to find a whole new zone by doing something normal and boring.
Yes. But now I honor that because it's similar to you. You're saying, Heather, he's a freaking beast. How did he do that? And it's because he was at that place where he didn't get tired. He was just, hey, I'm focused. I'm doing what I love, physical, mental exercise, because, that's who he is. And so between me experiencing that teaching spin, me observing my father, and me thinking about, running and the importance of, wow, when I first started running, I could barely run a mile.
Yeah.
And then I eventually ran 13.5. If people could just push past that level of discomfort to hit their stride and operate in their zone, they could change their lives.
Yeah, I think there's a lot there, because I think a lot of people can find a zone for a day and get through whatever they have to do, whether it's work or working out. Mm-hmm. But to do it on a daily basis, and a weekly basis, and a monthly basis, and a yearly basis, I think there's a lot to it, and that's the battle.
I agree.
That's the battle.
Totally great. So two things come to mind when you say that. So one thing it has to do with being in the right seat on the bus. So I shared with you recently that about 6 months ago, I started working for Hair Club. And so I'm the director of marketing, operations, and communications. Were you going to say something funny?
No. And I know, I just want everyone to know what Hair Club is.
Oh, okay. So Hair Club is
hair for men?
No.
Like no hair on the top of my head, and now you're putting hair on me?
Well, yes, we do have solutions.
Future reference from 5 years from now when I lose all my hair?
I got you.
Okay, Hair Club coming.
We sure do. We got solutions for everybody. Restore, repair, replace. We got all the R's.
Or remove.
If you want to remove. We got you. But it's not just for men. It's really, truly for everyone.
Okay.
So call out there. But one really interesting thing that they did in the process to make sure that I'm on the right seat, so now I'm operating my passion and purpose at work, is that they interviewed myself and another gentleman for the director role, because initially they were just going to hire one person. And through the interview process, they narrowed it down to myself and my colleague. And they said, we really like them both, and they both have unique, skill sets. Let's go ahead and have them take a personality test. So they did. It's called predictive index or indicator, so PI test. And so what they ended up doing, so my personality type according to the PI is a captain. So I'm an execution person. I'm also a strong communicator, and I like making things work. So as a result of that, they crafted 2 different roles. So they crafted my role, which is the communications and ops, that speaks to my strengths, and then they also crafted the performance role. So my partner in crime, the other director, is marketing performance, and I'm on the other end. So because they crafted the position, which to me really represented a lot to me, in the midst of a pandemic, they're recruiting. So that says it's an innovative company.
Yeah.
And then to say, you know what, we're not going to just hire one, we're going to hire 2. And then we're going to make sure that we speak to this person's strengths. Sometimes I get mad, like, dang it, they created such a great job for me that I can't stop working, but it's because it's my passion.
Yeah, you love that.
I love it.
You love it. You're in your zone.
Yes.
And being in your zone is easy to wake up to, whether you're working 12 to 16-hour days, you're fine with that.
So true. That's why even this morning, and I said, hey, in terms of the podcast, hey, I'm still working out.
Yeah, I know. Things change, and then I pushed the pressure to get you in here earlier than we originally scheduled.
That's fair.
But you're in the zone now because we're still talking about what you love to do.
That's so true. That's so true. But so the way, to remain in the zone is to craft your life in such a way that you're doing what you love all the time. And it's not only a benefit to you because it makes you a better person, you're happier, but it also benefits the people around you, because I think that people at work are like, Heather's, exciting. Hopefully they see me that way, or, a strong leader, because I'm in the seat where I'm able to operate at my best.
Yeah.
And it's not work to me. And so that's truly what living in the zone is all about, where you're living a life that's not work. It's not creating a spin class playlist and spending 3 hours on it, which really is not a good return on investment for my time based on how much you get paid to teach it.
Health is wealth is not working there.
Exactly. But but when I start playing the list and I'm in class, I'm like, yes.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
Because you got other people. Because I feel like there's something, because I think we could pass up on it real quick, is there's a lot of people that can't find a zone at work or their fitness goals.
Right.
So what advice do you have for people as you're building out your book of zones to get through the struggle part, to make it part of an important part in their zone of genius throughout the day?
So great question. Like, how do you find that place where you're excited and happy and living in excellence? So a couple of different things. One of the things that I think is so key is like self-assessment tests, and personality tests to kind of, and there's a lot of free options out there. I've read, I believe, Strength Finder book. And so at the end of that book, you have an option to go online and find and identify your strengths, and as a part of the purchase of the book. I also believe in getting feedback from colleagues.
That's the hard one. Asking for it.
Yeah, that's true.
And accepting it.
True. Yes.
Hard for everyone.
It can be, but there's a wealth of information there.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons why even with the marketing team, when I started the role alongside the other director, I did 360-degree reviews with them, so they were able to see. So I had their peers give them a review, so they're able to see, hey, this is what I'm soaring at, excelling at, and here's some opportunities for improvement. And to me, you build upon those strengths, those things that are easy for you, the things that people through. The other nugget is that people oftentimes in your life will tell you, where your area of gifting is. And throughout my entire career, and even in college, people always said, Heather, and hopefully you guys feel this way now, you're a great public speaker.
Yeah.
And so that afforded me opportunities to speak in front of the CEO of New Old Rubbermaid years ago and the board, and MC events, for various companies I've worked for, give motivational speeches at, a clothing brand here in Florida. But that's part of my zone.
Yeah.
Inspiration, speaking,
Yeah.
and it's easy to me. So it's oftentimes the things that you take for granted that other people applaud you for, that's likely your purpose.
Yeah, I can relate to that. When fitness was always my go-to for me, as an individual, not as a trainer. Mm-hmm. And that was always my release. And now years later, I've learned that's my time of genius, because if I can get my workout in, then I can handle anything and any challenges. Right now, to be honest with our audience, is, the behind the scenes of this podcast and behind the scenes of my fitness business are the challenges for me. So I really have to have work on me first to be in the zone, to stay in front of a computer for 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours in a row to learn those new challenges for me. Those are challenges for me, where the fitness side of things, that's always been my release for the other struggles. And that's where I can stay in a zone on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, because I still have that one strength of mine. And that's my own work towards my fitness.
I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome that you shared that, with the viewers. Two things come to mind when you say that. So one of the reasons why I, always love taking your classes is because to me, some of your gifts are a unique way of motivating. I think you treat everybody, you tap into something where it's almost like, yes, I want to be able to do this for Jason and myself and everything. Yep. And it's cocky and playful but strength. Like, I really want you to win. And your class has always been my favorite class at the gym.
Yeah, thank
you. I mean, it was just awesome. I mean, it was challenging but encouraging at the same time.
Yeah, I think just like what you said about your spin, you get excited when you see the energy that your mute playlist is getting and your cueing is getting from the people. Same thing for me. I felt like walking into a class, there's a little bit of nervousness that happens for me, especially if it's a full class, because I don't want to disappoint the customers and the members, right, and perform a good workout. Most people know my simple approach to movements. So there is that confidence building as you're working out and stuff, and the music side of things. I try to relate music, then play music, and put a lot of time. I used to for years, way too much time. My playlist, because I felt like there's a different group during the morning and different group of people at night. So I played to those strengths of those group of people, which I think is important. So yeah, having people smile even though they're exhausted was an important factor into the workouts.
And I think that's so huge. Like, an instructor, whether it be spin or group fitness, makes the class. And so you only want to go to, instructors that you can tell are in that place of, like, they love it, zone, not to, overkill here. But, and you definitely always conveyed that. So it was excitement to go to the class. The other thing I think is important to speak to is the things that we don't like doing that are not our strengths. Like you mentioned, hey, Heather, I'm spending all these hours, learning this software or learning these things. And I think that depending on where we're at as entrepreneurs, sometimes we do have to do all that, the grunt work. But as we grow, my goal is to have people, pay people for the things that I'm not good at, so that I can stay more and I can have more optimum performance, because I stay in the place of my strength.
Yeah, your 5% of genius is what a lot of books out there talk about. And a lot of people usually discuss this that are listening to this right now. It's just, okay, you're not going to pay someone for it there. It's to get the results faster, so you can keep working on what you need to get done in your life. So we can relate that to business, personally, or family based at all. So I think that's important to realize when you have to give certain things up and let someone else do that for you.
Yes.
It might be just doing the dry cleaning where you don't have to iron anymore your sports jacket and stuff. If that's the one thing that you can get out and have someone else do,
Yes.
then that's what you got to do. If that's where you're starting, something like that.
So
Simple.
true. It's so true. And it also brings to mind this book that I haven't, completed myself, but I got enough meat in the book that I think it was impactful and it was a game changer for my life. And the book is called E-Myth Mastery by Michael Gerber. And essentially the book is talking, it's, the audience there is the entrepreneur, and the author is essentially saying that play to your strengths. So I'm an execution oriented person. That's how my mind works.
You are.
Yes. And I'm creative, but I like structure and I like results. So literally every day at work, I have check boxes and I get excited. Like one of my friends was like, Heather, you're nuts with these check boxes, but I like to check stuff off. I like to accomplish. Yeah. I'm a multitasker. And so that's my strength. But I also have friends that's not their strength. And one of my good friends, literally this just happened in the last 24 hours, she's got a phenomenal concept for a kid's hair care line. And she's got a beautiful little boy and she's a great speaker and she's got all the gifts right there. And I knew that I couldn't speak into her life to make the impact because you need different personalities to drive you forward. So there was another friend that I have named David, and he's like, I love helping entrepreneurs and pushing them forward. And I said, ding. And so we got on a 3-way call, and based on the conversation, on my way over here, it sounds like together, because he's the execution results push forward. Yeah. She's the creative dreamer that, they can work together to produce results. So I think that's so important to identify your bottleneck. What is getting you, what is preventing you from getting to your goal, to the finish line? Yeah. And then overcome it. I mean, we're all made different, and that's one of the reasons, going back to my job, they said, okay, Heather's strengths are different. She's creative, she's communication, she's results. She could develop more in terms of the data analytics and things of that matter. So let's partner these two up. And then I know we've made significant impact. I'm very proud, and under the leadership of the VP. So, yeah. No,
it sounds like the company, Hair Club company, of credit, what you said earlier, is they're taking chances through the pandemic of hiring 2 people for the one position they were looking for, and finding both your zones of geniuses and letting you separate. I feel like it's that's a sports analogy all day with that, because any sport that you watch, there's that going on, especially with social media nowadays. You can really dive in and understand why a coach is doing such and such with individual players.
Right.
And the greatest coaches out there are the ones that adjust their season to the players they have that season, not what they always do. Within their systems of what they want to do.
Right.
So you guys are working within the systems of Hair Club.
Yes.
But they're allowing you to do what you guys do great.
Yes. Absolutely.
Parallel to each other.
Which is amazing to me. And, excites me. You can tell, right, play to your strengths. And that's really, how you get from point A to point B, play to your strengths. And never, to me, kind of going back to finding your zone, keep searching to find your passion, try different things. Don't just sit there and say, oh, I don't know what it is. Yeah. Figure it out, test different things. That's how you get there. Yeah. And that's how I found this seat. Quite honestly, I developed a passion for marketing and a skill for it based on my career path. But initially I thought I was going to be a professor of theology, quite honestly, because I love education and learning. Yeah. But I can't imagine doing anything other than what I'm doing now. So I think it's just important to not only push once you find your zone, to push to get to the zone, find out, do discovery, read books, play with different things, and you'll know it when you see it, though.
Yeah.
When you're in it.
No, yeah. And I want to compare the fitness and health journey. Okay. with what you're sharing, because a lot of people don't like working out, or they don't like eating healthy, and they don't like changing either one. But usually over the years, I found that everyone has one thing that they'd rather do before the other. So scientifically, certain things don't work, but to stay in a zone, if you find whatever type of workout it is that you like, keep doing that
Yes.
for a while, and then make those small adjustments with your nutrition and adding things like, if you love yoga and find stretching more beneficial, and you feel like you can do that every day, then that's what you're going to do and stuff. And then add things there. That's only going to enhance your results.
That's so true.
And stuff. And there's another thing that that we haven't talked about that you love and helped find a zone for you, and that's boxing.
Yes, I absolutely love boxing. And actually, like, I have some boxing videos. I guess I have a good right hook or something.
You have a good right hook?
Right hook, I do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Right.
proud of it. I know.
Don't throw your right now, because it'll
Okay.
knock me off the screen.
Okay, well, but I love boxing because I think it's really comparable to life in so many ways. I think there's a lot of mindfulness and thought and strategy that goes into it. And I used to watch boxing throughout my childhood with my father. He would sit right in front of the TV and just watch the moves. And so I gained an appreciation then, but then eventually I became aware of boxers like Muhammad Ali, which I have to share my favorite quote.
Okay.
If you ever dream of beating me, you better wake up and apologize. That's hard, right? That's horrible.
That's good.
That's
That's
horrible.
almost as good as his famous one, floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee.
Exactly. And so Muhammad Ali knew the power of words. And so the power of words can impact others and yourself. So he psyched out his opponent with powerful words, but he also affirmed himself. I said I was the greatest before I knew I was. And so that's powerful because it speaks to the impact of affirmation. So I love one of my favorite apps is I Am That I Am, because you're able to record affirmations in your own voice. So I'm saying I am a successful author. I am a motivational speaker.
Oh, that's a cool app.
Right, absolutely. So I love that. So if anyone wants to know, that it's on the App Store. I think it's like a little blue it's white and blue background. You'll know you got the right one. It's I Am That I Am. So that's powerful. And then I really think, as I step back and look at boxing as a whole, so you're training just like, for life. You've got to build those muscles, because I think it's physical and mental strength that you need to excel at anything and in life. So that's another reason why I love working out, because of the mental and physical component, but that's needed in boxing as well. And then when you're in the ring of life, so you're being confronted with challenges and bottlenecks, which are there just to make us stronger. Sometimes, we have to step back and retreat a little bit to process a situation. And the people that we talk to, so the coach in the corner, when you step in the corner of the ring, that person has to only speak life into you. So it's really important to have a great network of people that aren't like, I think you can do it. Yeah. No, if you're a boxer and you go in the corner, you need somebody that's like, wait, remember those moves that you had? You got this. You can knock them out. So you have to have a strong network, that person in the corner that's like, you got this, go back in the ring and knock it out. Right? And the other thing that I think is really interesting is that, so I love music, inspirational music, and if you notice, before a boxer goes in the ring, they always have some powerful song, right, that inspire. So that's why I'm really into music. Like before I give a motivational message, I usually listen to my favorite song by Rihanna called Diamonds, and it's Shine Bright Like a Diamond. And even with my team at work, before we gave a presentation to the VP and the CEO, I sent them that song. You're all diamonds, you all shine. So, it's things like that I'm like, I love boxing because it's life. It's life.
No, yeah. I mean, there's so many different things that a lot of people listening already know. Life will beat you up, but you got to get back up and keep punching. It's
right.
There's a lot of rounds in boxing. It's not just one round.
Right.
So, and just because you lose that first round doesn't mean you're going to lose the next 11. So.
Right. I love it. And then I think, I'm the motivational speaker said, if you can look up, you can get up.
If you can look up and get up. I like that one too.
Yeah, if you can look up, you can get up. So just keep going,
Yeah, that's awesome.
That. My second favorite thing, which I'm not great at, but I'm going to keep going and get there, is chess. Because chess, forces you to think several steps ahead. And I think whether you think about your fitness results and you say, hey, I'm here and I want to get there, and which I think vision boards are great for that. Map out where you want to go, have a plan, have some SMART goals. Hey, here's how I'm going to get from point A to point B. I think that is important, and it's a thinking game. Okay, this is going to impact this, begin with the end in mind, and that quote comes from Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So, just good stuff to plan for success, because, you could tell I'm a quote person. You either plan to succeed or you plan to fail.
Plan to succeed or plan to fail.
Man. Not fail, but fail.
No, fail.
Yes, fail.
And everyone knows that I'm a rhymer.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah, so it works. So there's going to be a lot of quotes and rhymes through all this set to sit done.
Love it.
Yeah, well, thank you for being on the show, Heather.
Yes.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure.
So one more question.
Okay.
Why the book? Why now? Why work on this book? What's the end goal for you putting out all your passion and trying to stay in the zone and finish this book and give it to people?
Okay, great question. Well, just like you acknowledged me at the beginning of the podcast and said, hey, I helped you. You've helped push me forward to execute on this book, because, that's your personality, your natural thing. Like, come on, Heather, I haven't seen, enough content. What's the time?
People I say, come on a lot.
You push. And it's great, because you need those people in your life that are going to push you forward. So the now is in part, I have to give you credit for really being that friend that's like, results, get it done. What the heck's going on, Heather? And we're both really busy, but you make time for things you care about and that matter to you. And so this book matters. I think it's part of my calling and purpose, to produce this content and share key learnings. In addition to that, one of my areas of gifting is public speaking and motivational speaking, and that's where I feel like I'm also operating in my zone, and it gives me the opportunity to do that, share knowledge and inspire, because I want everybody to succeed. I think we're all full of gifts, and I really want to, even if I affect one person, empower them to see the potential and push past the discomfort and operate in their zone, because I feel truly blessed and happy, and I really want others to feel the same.
For sure, that is awesome, and that can't be a better message for after the year that this world has been through, and we're still working our way out it, and we just have to stay in our zone as a country and as a world and as an individual people to better ourselves so we can better other people around us.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Heather.
Thank you,
everybody.
Jason.
Get ready for her book coming out whenever she finishes it up.
No, I'm calling it June of 2021.
June of 2021.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Work.
We're going to sell 10,000 copies for you right here on the podcast.
That's what's up. Yes.
Living in the Zone by Heather Lee. Thanks for being on the show, Heather.
Thanks for having me.
Peace, people.
Peace out.